Hey everybody, welcome to Fantasy R&R. This is your host Ryan.
And I'm Rob.
And if you're anything like Garrett Cole or Trevor Bauer, you might be in a bit of a sticky situation lately. So we're going to help you out with pre-All-Star break waiver ads.
Your heart's sweet and sticky. Yeah. This is Fantasy with Rob and Ryan. Fantasy R&R.
All right, welcome back everybody. We're going to go through our pre-All-Star break waiver ads, starting off at catcher, Elias Diaz from Colorado. Rob, give us the rundown. Your take right now on him going forward in fantasy baseball this season.
Yeah, it's the catcher position. We've went over this many of times. It's a crapshoot, and he is hitting a lot of home runs since really starting heavily for Colorado. Colorado is a great place to hit, as we all know. And I don't know if it's going to last. The guy's been playing for Pittsburgh, hasn't been doing much. Found a home suddenly in Colorado this year, and is, again, tearing the cover off the ball. So let's ride the hot hand while we're at it.
All right, speaking of a hot hand, this is probably a hot hand kind of pickup. Well-known name, hasn't been used in as many leagues. 34% rostered as it stands in Yahoo, up 8% from last week, is first baseman Joey Votto of the Cincinnati Reds. Anything you can tell us about his production as of late?
Yeah, Joey Votto seems to be trading his patient plate discipline for power. He's been hitting for a lot of home runs lately. He's still in a loaded lineup in Cincinnati. I think better things are yet to come in the second half, especially in the Great American Ballpark. It's better for hitters than Joey Votto. If he's going to display the power that he is currently, as long as he can avoid the IL stints, Joey Votto second half could be a very, very good play going forward for the remainder of the 2021 season.
Next first baseman we're going to talk about is Dom Smith from the New York Mets, also eligible at outfield. For a guy that's been averaging around the 300 rank on the season, we're seeing a huge uptick in ads, 12% rostered just last week alone, up to a total of 66% rostered. I think he had a 3-hit, 3 RBI game the other day. What's your outlook for the rest of the season for Dom Smith? Is it just an ad now guy, or do you think he could help out for the rest of the season?
No, I think it could be for the rest of the season. High expectations were coming in for him after last year. Really struggled, almost coming to the All-Star break here in the first half, but has been showing signs of life recently. The Mets have been surging, and Dom Smith is doing the exact same thing. So I say get ahead of the curve on Dom Smith and pick him up where he is available.
All right, another guy who's eligible at multiple positions, Ty France. He can play first, second, and third field. For our purposes, he's a first baseman. Seattle Mariners first baseman Ty France on an 8-game hitting streak. Are you looking to add him if you've got a hole in your lineup?
Yeah, especially in Yahoo leagues, he is first, second, and third. So he's got the position flexibility. Batting cleanup in Seattle. I know Seattle hasn't been doing that well, but they have been sneaky good. They're playing over 500 ball right now. And who doesn't want a cleanup hitter? Ty France, he doesn't have the power of that of like a potential Dom Smith or what Joey Votto has been displaying, but he can hit for average, and he does have a little pop in that bat. So I say pick him up where you can, especially in Yahoo leagues with that first, second, and third position eligibility.
All right, running 90 feet down the line to second base, our lone second baseman for the day, Vidal Brujan, Tampa Bay Rays. Rob, give us the rundown on the situation at hand with Brujan.
Yeah, aside from Wander Franco, Vidal Brujan is Tampa Bay's second bad prospect that has been doing very well in AAA. And he got the call finally yesterday. It looks like Tampa Bay is going all for it in the AL East as they are hunting down Boston, which has been a big surprise this year. But Brujan played yesterday, doubleheader, went 1 for 6. Had already his first stolen base. That's what this guy's known for. I believe it's an 80 grade speed, and for all those nerds out there, that means this guy is very fast and has some pop in his bat as well. He also had a run and an RBI. Never know how Tampa's gonna fluctuate with their lineups, as he's already been sent down, but I'm reading that he is going to get the call again on Friday for some crazy weird Tampa Bay stipulation. Pick up Brujan. I think this guy could be really good. Everybody's needing speed. Snag him while you can.
Okay, let's move on to third base, and our lone third baseman for the day for the Washington Nationals is going to be Starlin Castro, who's also on a long game hitting streak right now, and in fact has 5 multiple hit games in the past 8 days. So for someone that's 13% rostered, you finally looking at him for this week.
Yeah, he struggled mightily at the beginning of this season. I believe even took a leave of absence from Washington to address a family situation, if I'm not mistaken, and ever since he's come back, guy's killing it. Starlin Castro's always been known for his batting average. He's hitting in the meat of the lineup out there in Washington, so plenty of run and RBI potential for Castro going forward. And for the second half, who doesn't need average? I know we all do. And I'd say take a long look at Starlin Castro. I know in Yahoo leagues as well, he's second and third, so he's got a little bit of a position flexibility in him as well.
Awesome. Let's move on to shortstop. This is actually going to be your last call on Willy Adames and the Milwaukee Brewers. The last 2 weeks alone, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs, got a stolen bag, and is batting .333 over 48 at-bats. So at this point, you're thinking everyone's going to start rostering him, right?
Yeah, I don't understand why people are so slow on Willy Adames. The statistics speak for themselves. He was a better hitter away from Tropicana Field. I believe it was a .290 average compared to a .220, I want to say, at the Trop. So this move away has done wonders for Willy Adames. He always said he always had a problem with the Tropicana Field batting eye. I know that sounds crazy, but hey, we're human, right? Willy Adames needs to be rostered. I don't understand what's taking so long here. This guy hits the ball with authority. I believe it's Great Family American whatever ball field, they changed it, and now he's doing wonders in that ball field. He's hitting opposite field home runs, which is always great to see for a hitter, and he's just an all-around good player. I mean, we could potentially be seeing 30-plus home runs out of the shortstop position, and I know I can maybe think off the top of my head maybe 5 to 7 guys at shortstop. Maybe that's why people are so slow. He's only shortstop eligible. Get this guy. Milwaukee's surging. He's hitting, again, I think third in that lineup. I say get Willy Adames now. I know in Yahoo, I think it's only about a 50-54% roster percentage. Get him. This guy's doing wonders. 9 home runs. Of the 14 home runs he had, 9 of those have come with Milwaukee this last month. Get him now.
All right, so I hope he has a great time at the Family Fun Factory Field or whatever the hell it's called. Let's move on to Brendan Rodgers, shortstop. Speaking of somebody, Adames just eligible at shortstop. Rodgers here is eligible at second base or shortstop. So maybe not an attractive option stats-wise, but an attractive option for people who need to fill multiple positions. This guy's only 17% rostered, down 1% from last week. What are you seeing in Brendan Rodgers right now?
Well, what really stands out with Brendan Rodgers, again, this has been an elite prospect with Colorado for some time now. He's had his injury woes and whatnot. He was a power speed guy, but with all the injuries he's had to his legs, I don't think he's going to be running as much. But what really stands out is he's doing a lot of damage away from Coors Field. So what does that tell you? Well, when it starts getting really hot at Coors Field, that ball's going to start flying. Brendan Rodgers could end up being a second-half monster, and I would not be surprised if, like Willy Adames, we could be looking at 2 huge shortstops that are sitting there widely available in a lot of leagues that could win a lot of championships for teams who are, I mean, if you're not shortstop, let's say you have a Bo Bichette or a Trey Turner, you got to have a utility position available. These guys will fit very nice on your teams. I'm telling you right now, we're very close to calling Brendan Rodgers the last call. I really believe it. And both Willy Adames and Brendan Rodgers need to be rostered. Get him.
Interesting. All right, so once again, as I always say, we're going out to the loneliest place in Little League, the outfield. We're going to start with Akil Baddoo of the Detroit Tigers, probably the most dropped and added player I've seen this year. Every time a Yahoo notification pops up, you can bet this fucking guy is going to be on it. So give us the rundown of why you're enjoying Akil Baddoo at the moment and why he should be added.
It's pretty quick. I mean, no pun intended. Stolen bases. The guy's getting on base, stealing bags. He's not hitting for as many home runs as he was showing early in the season. You need stolen bases. It's coming very cheaply in Akil Baddoo. Yeah, he plays for the Detroit Tigers. I'm guessing that's what slowed the game, but get Baddoo. I mean, he has a pretty sure multi-position outfield eligibility in Yahoo as well. That always helps. Get him while you can. Akil Baddoo's pretty dang good.
All right, so we're going to talk about Austin Hayes here. Obviously, you don't always want an Oriole on your team, but this guy is one of the dudes scoring a lot of runs for them. Only 12% rostered at the moment. What are you seeing in him that's sparking your interest?
I really believe he's got a little bit of power, a little bit of speed, and hits for a 250 average. That always plays in fantasy. Again, like you said, and very similar to that of Badu, it probably has to do with the fact that he is with the Orioles, but I got a good feeling about this guy. He also went to Jacksonville University. There's a fun little nerd fact for you, so Duval. I would definitely strongly recommend taking a look at him. I believe he's left, center, and right as well in Yahoo. Awesome Hayes. Go take a look for him.
All right, so former MVP and All-Star Andrew Mccutchen, as we all know him, he has finally broken an average of season rank 100 amongst Yahoo leagues, so definitely making a splash. Still only 69% rostered. Can you tell us what's going on with him, and if there's 2 home runs in the last 2 games, just a fluke, or is he back to his normal form without getting injured?
No, I really do believe that Andrew Mccutchen really is starting to kind of shape into form here, especially at Citizens Bank Park. Again, it's getting hot, ball's starting to fly, and Mccutchen is just really starting to see the ball well as of late. And Philly's going to be in contention in the second half, so you got to believe this guy's going to be balling out for the remainder of the year as well.
All right, so Garrett Cooper, a guy who's eligible at first base as well as outfield, the Miami Marlins, 12% rostered, up 5% from last week. What's going on with him?
Well, home runs always help. Ever since he's come off the IL, he's kind of been banged up a lot of his career, but he's been hitting very well over a 300 AB in his last, well over a 300 average in his last 100 ABs. He's got sneaky pop in that bat. Miami's really, not the most scary lineup in all of baseball, but there's good potential that they're going to be trading off here as the season comes to a close, and we'll still have the second half, but maybe need some help. Garrett Cooper might go to a contender. That's always a very nice little caveat for any player who might just be lingering on the waiver wire with plenty of pop and bat, so I strongly recommend Garrett.
So let's move on to starting pitchers, position I'm always in need in, that's for sure. John Gray of the Rockies. Generally, Rockies, especially at home, people get a little wary of starting. John Gray the other day, though, strikes out 8 against the Diamondbacks, gets a quality start. This might be someone I'm looking at for a couple of streams. What do you suggest going forward as we monitor his matchups?
Yeah, John Gray has always been a pretty solid pitcher. This year, he's really kind of been putting it together as of late. Yeah, he does play in Colorado, so the his whip's going to be a little high. But he's got the strikeout ratio, and that's what you want to see, especially for pitchers in Colorado. I strongly recommend John Gray the rest of the year.
Another guy that's been bouncing from the waiver wires to teams, back to the waiver wires again, at Burke Allisolae. This last game against Cincy goes 7 innings, 6 strikeouts. I believe he got the quality start. So, again, producing for stats teams and points versus points teams. What's your outlook on him for the rest of the season?
Yeah, the one thing that I really like about Allisolae is the fact that he has the pinpoint control that has been helping him so far. He's not walking a lot of guys. This is a very young pitcher. People have to realize there's going to be peaks and valleys with this guy. So I strongly recommend, if you have him, stick with him. No pun intended there with the sticky stuff. But if he's on the waiver wire, man, I say grab him as soon as you possibly can. Play him. If you're that concerned about him, he had a 3-game stretch where he kind of got rocked around. The last start was very, very like himself. I say stick with him. I believe a 1.08 whip off the top of my head. That is going to regulate his ERA, which I know is like a 4.4, I want to say, off the top of my head. It's going to be coming down here soon. I think he's just getting unlucky.
And speaking of the sticky stuff, we are definitely not smoking the sticky stuff when we suggest this next guy. We are simply diving deep. It's going to be Tyler Mcgill of the New York Mets, another starting pitcher. Rob, I want you to tell our 6-person audience here what exactly you're seeing in this kid.
Yeah, I mean, Mets pitchers, they have that guy named Jacob Degrom who came up out of nowhere and is the best pitcher in baseball for the last, 10 years, whatnot. Guys look pretty good so far, of course. In typical Met fashion, doesn't have a decision in his first 3 games. But a guy to keep a close eye on. His last outing he had looked really, really well. and might be another one of these guys that they just call up and do well. I mean, the likes of Thor, I don't even know if that guy's still alive anymore, but I don't think he's going to be coming back anytime soon. And who doesn't need pitching, as you were saying? You got to get well ahead of the curve on diving deep with Tyler Mcgill.
All right, so a little bit of relief pitching here as we start to wrap up. Paul Seawall of the Mariners. Last 8 days has made a number of appearances, has 3 saves, number of strikeouts. So looking like an effective closing position at this point, wouldn't you say?
Yes, this guy, I just came across him just randomly one day. His strikeout ratio is ridiculous out in Seattle. I mean, I think this is a future closer in the making. If he isn't already closing games, sorry, I just don't watch a lot of Mariners games. But Paul Seawall, if it's not just ratios alone, this guy needs to be rostered. I believe it's almost a 2 strikeout to innings pitched kind of guy, which when it comes to closers, that is grade A material. So take a look. Paul Seawall, Sewald.
And our last guy here is going to be Josh Taylor of the Boston Red Sox. He's making his short 1-inning appearances, but another dude, every time he's coming in, he's getting a save or a hold. So this could be an effective guy for your stats league if you need some saves and holds. What are you thinking going forward? Is this going to be kept up? Is he going to be in that relief bullpen rotation as much as possible, or do you think they're going to start to feather on him?
Really, I don't know. I mean, the way Boston's been producing this year and winning games always helps to have a relief pitcher of some sort on that team. If he's not going to vulture saves or like you had said, holds, dude might even get a win or 2 as well. I know he started off the season super shaky, where when you look at his whip, it's super high, but I mean, this guy has been producing the last month to the effect that you want guys like Josh Taylor or even Paul Seawald on your roster because of just ratios alone. He's doing very well, not giving up a lot of hits, not walking a lot of guys, striking people out. Perfect formula for some great relief pitching for your fantasy team.
All right, guys, you heard it here. That was our pre-All-Star break waiver list. It was the stickiest of the icky. Once again, this is your host, Ryan and Rob with Fantasy R&R. We'll see you next time.